hivyo nishaelewa, sifa nitakupa zaidi. Ishara kwamba unanipenda zaidi, hivyo nishaelewa, sifa nitakupa zaidi. Na siwezi jizuia usema wako wema, na sio kama najigamba, umenitenda mema. Na siwezi jizuia usema wako wema, na sio kama najigamba, umenitenda mema. Umekuwa mwema kwangu. Umenitoa gizani nilipokuwa nimeshikwa mateka, ukanipa tumaini, kwako nikajificha. Sasa nitakupa nini? Iwe sawa na yale umetenda, hakuna ila moyoni. Sifa nitakuimbia, nilikugharimu msalabani unifie, hivyo inanibidi sifa nikuimbie. Wema wako niseme, ili na wengine wakujue, wote waungane nami na wazee 24. Na siwezi jizuia kusema wako wema, na sio kama najigamba, umenitenda mema. Na siwezi jizuia kusema wako wema, na sio kama najigamba, umenitenda mema. Umekuwa mwema, acha niringe, umekuwa mwema. Yahweh, umenitendea. Acha niimbe, siwezi jizuia kusema wako wema, na sio kama najigamba, umenitenda mema. Na siwezi
10 tips. 10 tips. And the title of the tips is The Pathway to Greatness. The Pathway to Greatness. And this greatness is success. Success does not come in a silver platter. You have to work for it. You have to look for it. But now, you are now 40 years, you are moving. In fact, you are no longer students. When my students reach 40, I don't address them as students. I address them as adults. Because what is remaining is only for you to sit the exam and then you move away. I want to begin by saying that where you are coming from is not the proof, is not a proof of your destiny. Your history has nothing to play in your destiny. And that one will only work if you position your mind. And the first point is this. First, expand your territory the way you think. Expand your territory the way you think. Most of you have, in fact all of you, you have been staying, surviving at the hands of your parents, your relatives. Your territory has been covered, has been surrounded by many people who have been guiding you. But as from the day you will graduate, it's upon you to expand your territory, the way you think in your mind. If you think like, this is a church, this is our chapel, the fence, you see the way it is. This is how far we can interact with this fence. If you want to expand this fence to reach the other side, we can still do it by maybe approaching the administration and giving us in this house. So what does it mean? It is you to expand your territory. From here, you should be having in your thoughts what you want God to do in your life. But I want to challenge you. If you do not even have faith, you will not achieve that. If you do not have faith to learn on how to expand your territory, you will not achieve it. So just believe in God. Tell Him what you need. Tell him that big dream you want to achieve in your life. Tell him that good job. Tell him that good wife you want to get. Tell him that good husband you want to get. And God is going to provide for you only if you believe. Point number 2, persistence. Persistence. What is persistence? It is the insistence and consistency no matter how many people have given up. You insist and you become consistent. From here, you'll graduate, you'll meet the world. If only you focus on being insistent on what you want to be, that is only when you'll become successful. Most of you and most of the people in the world, when you are young, maybe somebody asked you, what do you want to become? What do you say when you are young? Doctor. And right now, what do you want to become? You see? So, what is your persistence? Maybe now when you go outside there, you meet the world. And the world will start beating you all the corners. You see the way in an ocean or in a river, the way a load, it's normally carried. The waves keep on beating or moving it side by side. If you're not careful, you land in a profession which is not yours. Then you will find that even this degree you have gone through, it will not even be of any importance to you. And then by the time you'll be realizing the degree is very important to you, it will be also too late. You'll have also moved on with other things. So what am I saying? Right now, from here, just be persistent in whatever you want to be. And if that goal does not work, then you know by the time you'll be graduating, what else? You cannot be stuck to only one, I want just to be a teacher. So what if you become a nurse on the process? I just want to be a priest. Huh? I hope priest is not listening to this. Then on the process, because of feelings and emotions, you see a very beautiful lady somewhere, and then you move with her. Your priesthood ends there. So what do I mean? Persistence, very important. Many people could have given up. Many people will give up in whatever they are moving on right now. But you as a fourth year, you as a youth of hope, be persistent in what you want to be. And the moment you set your goals clear, this is what I want to be. I always like setting examples, giving experiences with me, the way me I read. When I was in high school, I could sleep, I could wake up, and anybody could ask me, what do you want to become in future? Imagine I used to say, I want to become a lecturer. And by that time, I didn't know the definition of a lecturer. What is my witness? I didn't know what does it mean to be a lecturer, but I was seeing myself teaching somewhere in a university. That was my dream. But I thank God. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Today, it has been fulfilled. And the way I moved, it was so swift, and God was with me, and He could open ways for me until where I am today. So, persistent. There is that dream you normally have. Don't let it die. Even if the world challenges you, don't let it die. Just be persistent on it. Do not give up. Then number 3, discipline. My dear brothers and sisters, my good boys and girls, my good men and gentlemen, there is no way in this world you can survive, you can progress, you can achieve this pathway to success without discipline. What does discipline mean? I mean, discipline, you discipline your mind, discipline your thoughts, discipline your feelings, discipline your emotions, discipline your appetite. Men who are here, I know most of you have very strong relationship right now. I know. By show of hands. No, I was almost saying that is personal. Oh, so you are there. Very strong relationships. That's wonderful. All those things were made by God. It's only us human beings who spoil it. But discipline yourself. If you discipline yourself, you will not find yourself in a situation whereby you are regretting. Discipline yourself in whatever you are doing. Right now, you are going for attachment. You are going for industrial attachment. You are going for teaching practice. If you are not going to discipline yourself, you will not even get that good grade. And that grade counts in your final, ranking. If you are not going to discipline yourself, the way you talk, the way you eat, your appetite, your feelings, your emotions, ladies, you will find yourself in a situation whereby this is the headmaster, this is the deputy. You are in between. He has a wife, he has a wife. You are here. You are not disciplined. What happens later? You spoil somebody's marriage. You have a boyfriend somewhere who has been so much persistent on you as a future wife. He starts losing his hope. Now, by the time you believe in teaching practice, your name will have already been spoiled because of lack of discipline. Discipline yourself the way you dress. Discipline yourself the way you teach, the way you handle those students, the way you handle your assignments. And I want to tell you today, the moment you cultivate the habit of doing the good thing that is now being disciplined, you will never regret. You will never brush shoulders. By the time you'll be leaving, they'll be telling you, or when they come to access you, hey, this one. Oh, we have Masino Molino here, we have Maseno, we have Jarano. But this one for Maseno, we'd like to retain her. This one for Maseno, we want to retain her. Very disciplined. And want to work with her. Very hardworking. So right now, I know the reason why you have reached 4 years is because you are disciplined. You are disciplined, you become orderly. God himself is orderly. Even the way he created things, there was order. The way God blesses us, he blesses us in order. The way things happen, nature, they happen in order. There is no way the sun will shine at night. There is no way the moon will light on day. There is always order. Have order in your life. If this is not in you, if doing an activity or attending an event is going to change or to affect a section of your life or the way you handle yourself, just do away with it. In whatever you are doing, if you are walking, walk in order. If you are doing that attachment, arrange or put your things in order. Whatever you are doing in your life, just be ordered. And I want to tell you, you will never ever have any problem. And the moment you cultivate that habit, you know most of you are still young. You become a good husband, you are orderly, your marriage is orderly, your life becomes complete. A good wife, your life is orderly, your marriage is orderly, you live a good life. And what else one do you need in life? It's only good life. Then point number 5. Do not rely for help from anyone apart from God. Don't rely for help from anyone apart from God. And I want, if I could take testimonies from most of you, you will bear with me witness. You could be having a powerful angle somewhere. He's the manager of that company. And for you here, you are thinking that that guy is going to connect job for you, to connect a job for you. One time he'll disappoint you. And that's the time you realize that is not your uncle. You are here, most of you, we send most of you for attachments, to look for places for attachment. But some said, my aunt organized for me, my auntie organized for me. The same aunt you think is so good, he will just go when he sees that you are doing very well. He'll just go and maybe say something about it. And then you'll find yourself being thrown away. So what is that? When you rely on somebody, by the end of the day, you have something to account for. If you misbehave in that company, everybody will be calling your uncle. You see the person you brought to me? Everybody will be calling your aunt. But if you do it individually, you personally, nobody you will be. day by day. Your husband is waiting for you. And by the time you will be following that job, you will be loitering up and down, and you will never ever get that job. Why don't you wake up in a day, knock an office, say, these are my papers. Excuse me, sir, there is a job. Or can I help anywhere? You by yourself. Why should you follow somebody else to look for you a job? We have communication skills we teach you here. Why don't you go and explain yourself to them? Excellence. Believe in excellence. It is not a must that you graduate in this university with first class honors. None or nowhere is written that those people who graduated first class honors are excellent. Excellent is not a skill. It is not a skill. Excellent is not a skill. It is just an attitude. If you have that attitude of being excellent, I want to tell you, you will always be excellent in what you do. The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you present yourself, the way you attend lectures. If you have that habit, being excellent, that's enough. Being excellent means you are organized. If you are excellent, it means you are not cheap. If you are excellent, you are not cheap. You will never be bought. Nobody will buy you. Nobody will challenge your mind. Nobody will challenge your feelings. Nobody will challenge your emotions because you are excellent. You will say, this one, this one, not me. This one, hapana. Excellence, it is how you do the little which qualifies you to achieve the great. It is a spirit on how you carry yourself. When you are excellent, even the way you tackle questions in exam, you answer them well. That's what? Excellent. The way you carry yourself before your parents, that's what? Excellent. And when you are excellent, you will never live to regret. Why should you regret? That's point number 6. Point number 7, attitude. Position your attitude rightly. What is killing many Kenyans nowadays, not even Kenya alone, the world, is stress. And stress comes in because of attitude. If somebody can bear me wrong or bet me out, then prove me with the research. Attitude, wrong attitude, negative attitude leads to stress. The moment you are stressed, your life goes haywire. Panadol. Midday, Panadol. Evening, Panadol. Because of what? Stress. Stress has been brought by negative attitude. Position your attitude. Avoid small things, sweating, small stuff. You will go in staff room, you'll meet ladies there with a lot of attitude. They'll want to give you a lot of lessons. Come on, you are there to teach. Take them. In fact, prove to them that you can even teach 32 lessons when they don't fit in the timetable. Prove to them. You are young, energetic. Attitude. Those ones who are going for industrial attachments, somebody will call you, come and cook tea for us. Can you cook for tea? Because they know at cheese. That's their work. Can you mop this, in fact, the way they address you. Then you are like, with your shoes, your dressing coat, your expensive bag. Don't you know that I'm in the university, so what are you telling me? I'm not. Your attitude, and I want to help you. Some of us, we have reached where we are because of ignoring very minor things. Even if, I don't know, you wake up sometimes, you have no confidence, but you know what the job you're going to look for, you can't make it. You have that mother tongue superiority complex. There's a lure there who speaks the German style, but you're going there, you'll beat him or her. Just attitude. It will work for you. Point number 8, confidence. Attitude works hand in hand with confidence. Be confident in what you do. Believe in yourself. Yes, I can make it. That one should be your principle. That one should be your what? Anything you are doing, yes, I can make it. Even if you are going to be attached in a place whereby the environment is very difficult. Apart from health problems, any other job you are being shown, Don't say ati wanakuonea. This is not for you. Just say you can make it. That's you. Move ahead. Have that confidence. After graduating, because now attachment sometimes does not count so much. You are not sure that you'll be absorbed when you're going to do the attachment. Have confidence. Walk indoors. Knock. Express yourself. Carry those certificates. I'm happy here we give you certificates after graduating. Knock the offices. Don't sit and tell your dad, can you go and find out for me in water association whether there is a vacancy there? So what are you doing? You are in the house, TV, all the best movies. You are the one who knows the best characters. Have the confidence in you. You are a university graduate. Just move. Walk a door from a door, another door. Walk, talk to them, express yourself. That job you will get. But the moment you will feel like it is not for me, I cannot make it. Yes, you will not make it. Your sibling will come, will graduate, will get a job, will move on, then will keep on saying, my parents keep talking badly about me. I know you don't like me, Mama. I know you that you don't like me. It is okay. You know you took me to Maseno. I know people in Maseno, blah, blah, blah. But it is your attitude. Others will move on. Lack of confidence will lead you to being nowhere. Point number 9. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. You will walk. You will meet the world. We have a world full of darkness, world full of light. In that darkness, there is life. In that light, there is life. There's what we call interrelationship and intra-relationship, and you are one of the relationship. Listen to yourself. If you don't fit into what you are going to do at that moment, don't do it. If your conscience tells you this one is not good for me, don't do it. And I want to talk to the ladies who are here. Hata mama, utakumbaliana na mimi. Kuna ile kitu wanawake wanasemanga, they normally say women will have a very strong sixth sense. And men your third sense, ama ni fourth sense which is strong. Ama ni the sense of feelings, hiyo inakuwa strong. Men amujui, but women we have another sixth sense which is very strong. That's what I'm saying. Listen to yourself. The moment you listen to yourself, you respect yourself. You will never regret. If something is warning you, or something is talking to you, and you go and try. I think this is what I said yesterday. Go and try. Go. Don't sit and wait. If something is speaking to you, I want to go back for masters. Maybe it is through your masters whereby your doors will be open. If the money is there, just proceed. If something is listening to you, do not drop your boyfriend. Do not drop your boyfriend. Do not drop your girlfriend. Surely, Lazarus, I feel like Givenchy, Jokush is my best girl. I need to marry this girl. But now you see a Makamba, she's a Kikuyu. Now what is this? No, Givenchy, I mean, how do you call her? Jokush is a good girl. Jokush I've been seeing her since from first year, second year. Jokush, now where will I get another woman? Sure. This one's from Masine Moliro. This one's from Mount Kenya. But Jokush, I feel like Jokush is the best for me. Then your parents come and tell you. But you know what? In Kamba here, all those Kikuyus, they are not good people. They'll run away with your children. They'll empty your pockets. They'll just want to invest in you. Now, Lazarus, you are here. Something is speaking to you. Because after all, you have to become either a father, a mother, a sister, or a priest. But right now, you know your feelings and emotions. You know where you belong. All of you. There is no dilly-dally. Huh? There is no dilly-dally right now. You know where you belong. I'm going to pretend that. And in university, you come here, you graduate spiritually, socially, academically, physically not so much. We are not all engaged in games. But those three things, socially, yes. Physically, socially, academically, spiritually. What is socializing? Have you been socializing with the monkeys here? These are human beings. And most of you are above 20, 21, 23 years. 25 years up to 30. Nowadays, life expectancy has gone very low. By the time you reach 30, I'm not scaring most of you, by the way. By the time you reach 30, 31, 32, you should be having a potential man. Be married anyway. Thank God those ones who have kids here. This type of exercise they feel. Those ones who have also have husbands, you're also doing well. But if you are here and you don't even have a boyfriend, you don't even have a girlfriend, you are abnormal. This is the university. You are not cheaters. You are totally abnormal. Point number 10, which is the last point. Now, point number 9 about listening to yourself. There is section B about it, and that is do not have regrets. At your level right now, it's not a time to have regrets. It is your time to avoid regretting. See to it that you avoid regrets. Why should you sit there and say, I wish I had done it while in the university? It is not too late. Why don't you do it now? What is it that you want to do? There are so many things in your minds. Avoid regrets. We don't encourage young Turks to live on regrets. I regret I could have done Bachelor of Education. If you are doing it, there's nothing to regret. That is what you are in, move on. If you have been admitted to do medicine and you do it, you have landed in Bachelor of Education Arts or Bachelor of Communication, BAT. That is what you are. Don't regret. Work on it, make it strong, move on. Avoid regrets. Regrets finally make you start now leading into, leading into generalizations. I wish I could have done this. If I could have done this, I could have been this and this. Why should you allow for regrets right now? Make the best choice, make the right choice right now, as you join the world that will not lead to regret. Then the last point, which is point number 10. God's time is the best. Be patient. God's time is the best. Be patient. Anyway, social life. If for the last 4 years you have been looking around and you have never seen any woman to please you, Dixon. Be patient. Maybe yours is in high school. Girls, ladies who are here, if you have been disappointed in life, disappointment is the beginning of being strong. Don't rush or don't become impatient. Maybe you had a chance in one man. You gave him your whole heart. And at one time, he disappointed you. And then you say, no, I cannot do it again. By the way, you are pretending. Don't say, I will never love again. It's nothing like that. You will love and you will love and you will be loved. There's nothing I will not do it. You will do it again and you will do it and do it. Just wait till you go for attachment. You will see a Bukusu man. Bukusu men are very good in convincing women. And the research says, in Kenya, research says that the most handsome men are from Luya. The most handsome men come from Luya. And the most worst men come from Bukusu. Worst men means what? Today, lunchtime is with you. At 4, coffee hour is with Mukali from Kibwezi. At 6, he is with a Kalenjin. By 7, by the time he comes back to you, he has around 4 to 5, 6 girls. Just wait, you'll see. And right now, most breakages, most marriages which are breaking, analysis from Western, Luya land, more so Bukusus. It's only around, please, Bukusu men who are here, forgive me. Me, I'm just telling the truth. Bukusu men will cheat you. You are only girl, you are the only lady. You are the only one. By the time you go home, you'll find 2 or 3, or a kindergarten there, or a nursery school of young kids. They are children. I'm through those points. I would like to leave you with only one verse. And that is in the book of Isaiah 45, verse 2 to 3. And the theme of that verse is that God knows your destiny. Not be worried. As you move, you meet the mountains, the valleys, the flat lands, the joys and the sorrows in this world. God knows your destiny. And this verse says, I, myself, will prepare your way, leveling all mountains and hills. I will break down the bronze gates and smash all the iron bars. I will give you treasures from dark, secret places. That is the only section which touches me. God says, I will give you treasures from dark, secret places. Which means, where you are expecting not to be blessed, that is where God will bless you. Those secret places, that is where your treasures will come from. And then God will call you by name. Moses, you are the manager of this company. Maybe you have undergone so many challenges, so many problems. He will call you and place you where you belong. Finally, I would like to encourage you. This is specifically for attachment. Attachment, and this is what we are going for teaching practice. As you go there, put into considerations all these points I've given you. That is why, and that is how you'll hear so and so it's going on very well in life, and you are not going on in life. You are not going on very well in life. Most of you are going to be attached. You will be absorbed in those places. What will make you be absorbed? Those 10 points I've given you. What will make you, your life from here, move very fast, such that by the time 5 years clock, you are a manager of a company, you are a director of a company. There is no difference. It is not written anywhere that all the people are supposed to be directors. No. It is you. Put those points into considerations, and you are not going to regret. It is unfortunate that you have not interacted much. In fact, I had so many topics I've been offering somewhere to young kids. But if there is no another time, maybe the ones to come, they're the ones who will benefit. But contacts are there. Don't keep quiet. Share. I said yesterday, whatever you are going through, you are not alone. Share, ask, inquire, knock. Have that confidence, and all is going to be well. When it is dark, you have no mulikamwizi. You have no torch. I don't know whether mulikamwizi and torch they are different. Hauna candle, hauna kiberiti, hauna anything. Umelea umeisha. Hiyo kazi unaenda umetembea zimeisha. Say this prayer. And I want to help us. Help me say the prayer. Let's say all this prayer together only once. And you say it from your heart. And what am I saying? During your joyness, your sweet times, say that prayer. Your dark moments, say that prayer. And all shall be well. And that is the memorial. Do you all know that prayer? Yes. Very wonderful. Can we recite the prayer? Let's start. Remember,
O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known to anyone who prayed your protection, implored your help,
or sought your intercession, was left unneeded. Inspired by this confidence, we fly unto you, O Virgin of Virgins, our Mother. To you do we come, before you we stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Most Word incarnate, despise not our petitions, but in your mercy, hear and answer us. Amen. That is a prayer when you are in dark moments, when you feel like it is not over. Just say that prayer. Mother Mary, through that intercession, all shall be well. And I always thank you so much.
There are some 7 points that I wanted to share with you. And my title was about go out and dominate the marketplace. And I want to share with you the principle of dominating the what? The marketplace. And my work has become so easy because some of those things I don't have to repeat. I just mentioned that this is what I want to talk about. It has been handled because I want to take a shortcut. Once you know what to do, you can always take the right shortcut. There's a wrong shortcut and there's a right what? Shortcut. The right shortcut is when you know exactly what to do and you know what's going to be the end result. Point number one that I want to talk about, because I just want to talk about in points. I always tell so many stories, so I'll give them to you in summary. Point number one, you're people of hope. And so, I want to tell you this. God expects you to dominate the marketplace. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Go and subdue the what? Yes, go out there. Be fruitful, multiply, and subdue. I want you to know that as we are preparing you to finish strongly, and then some of you are also going for industrial attachment and also for teaching practice, and some will be getting chance even to study so that you can finish strongly. Sometimes when you look out there, some people tend to lament, am I going to find my place out there? We are the people of hope, and I want to tell you, I want to repeat, God expects you to dominate the marketplace. In fact, it's a command. Go and subdue the what? The earth. So I'll just put this. Sometimes the situation may be overwhelming. If people do another statistic, there are many people who have graduated from universities, yet some are still tarmacking up to now. And so some people go with that fear that I may not find my place because others have gone ahead of me and have not find they did not find their place. But you are so being told about confidence. Go out with that confidence, that faith based, that hope based on what? On faith that you are going to find your place, and God has commanded you to dominate the what? The marketplace. Point number two. And Madam said it very well. And for me, I always say this. For you to dominate the marketplace, after knowing that God has commanded you, you must be a dreamer, not a drifter. You must have a purpose. Be a dreamer, not a drifter. There's no way you'll ever dominate the marketplace if you are merely going with the flow. Somebody put it this way. If you go with the flow, you'll end up at the bottom, and at the bottom there's trash. Some people go out of the university, and in fact, even though it's university, but now we are talking to you as our sons and daughters. You go out there without a plan. And Dr. Irene was asking somebody, but if everyone who could be asked, do you have a dream? Do you have one where the section of the market that you want to dominate? As somebody said, you cannot make it as a wandering generality. You must become a meaningful, specific. For you to become successful, you must identify the corner where you want to do what? Dominate. You cannot expect to dominate that marketplace without being a drifter. You can't be casual. Dreams will give you your life a sense of direction. As you go out, we will talk to you. Even right now, you can have your dream. If somebody has to ask me, what are my dreams? I have big dreams myself. We are going to have a reunion after 10 years. And I'm going to be called Reverend Dr. Father Ben. I'm telling you. Yes. Yes. Clap for her, please. Clap for her, please. I have a dream that when I'll be 97 and I'm sitting under a tree smoking a pipe, spiritual one, I mean. That every time I look at the newspaper, I'll see somebody I've actually I've touched, in a way, shared something. Either I've prayed with you or shared some principle of success with you. Somebody I've mentored. I want that when I look at the TV, I see Calvin doing something, I say, that's my son. I see Engineer Wangui doing something.
I like it.
And I want to author several books. And so I have to read a lot. And I have to research a lot. And I have to put so many things. So I know that dreams give our life a sense of direction. And we're all free to dream at any stage. But right now we are talking with you that, do you have a dream? If somebody has to ask you, do you have a dream? Which area of the marketplace do you want to dominate? Because those dreams will help you, will stretch you, will make you increase your potential. Step number 3, the market belongs to the competent. The market belongs to the what? To the competent. There are some people who are actually taking shortcuts and are getting rich, but they are not dominating in the marketplace. There are some people who can have fictitious companies and have money, but they are not dominating the what? The marketplace. There are some people who can have riches, but they have not gained them because of the competence that they have. And Madame has just told us about excellence. Somebody said that excellence, actually, she's commenting about 3 A's. If you want to be excellent, you have the attitude you have been talked about, the appearance, very important. Then you must also be aggressive. Nyawira, you must be what? Aggressive. Somebody said this way, you know, like, when you have a good or a service that can meet the need of the one, there's no law against that. Are you going to embrace the quest to be excellent, as you have been said? Because that has been already been said. I just say that if you are competent, you are going to stand out of the crowd, from the crowd, and people are going to come to your door to knock it and tell you, we want you to be part of us. The only major thing that we have in the world that is great is mediocrity. You know, people are saying that there's no job, but you say, the moment you say that I want to be the best in this field, it may take you some time, but after some time, people are going to notice you, and they are going to come to you, and they're going to give you that job. But some of us, you want to take it easy. I think that was my last point about being hard. But if you commit yourself that you want to be excellent, you'll never be out of a job. Next point is this. For you to dominate the marketplace, be opportunity conscious. And Dr. Irene has just addressed those who are going for industrial attachment and going for teaching practice. I've helped some people to get jobs when they were going for attachment. When I told them, because as a member of Rotary Club, I meet people who work in different sections. There's a time I also began a team called Uradu Professional. Dr. Makoyo was one of the members in the parish where I was working. So I got to know people from all over this country, some who are running their companies. And I was telling young people, if you are looking for a job, tell me, I'll ask these people, he'll ask another person, they'll know where you can go and find a what? Attachment. And whenever somebody got an attachment through my help, we are told we should rely on God. That's why I was praying to God. We are told to rely on God. So they're coming to me because I rely on what? On God. I'm not going to ask for extra thing. Because I want to say that when I'm 97 and I'm smoking a spiritual pipe, somebody will not say that Father Ben messed my life, but this person helped me to get closer to what? To God. Now, there's a son of mine who was graduating from Moi University. I don't have a place to go for a job, but I told you, the moment you have a chance to go for industrial attachment, all those teaching practice is an opportunity for you to market yourself. And some people miss that opportunity because they are not opportunity what? Conscious. You go there, you are being mediocre, you are shabby, you are whatever. What Madam was saying here, you know, you don't build a good reputation about yourself. Nobody wants to have you next. Because you are thinking that, I don't know, it's a requirement of the university that I have to pass through this. No, it's a preparation for you so that an open way for you to go to the what? To the job market. And many people have gotten a job like that. Be opportunity conscious. And you'll get a chance to dominate the marketplace. Another way of doing opportunity conscious, even when you graduate, when I tell some of the people like this, when you are out there, don't be afraid to volunteer. You may go out there and then you find there's no job, but it's easier for people to notice you when you are practicing, when you are doing something, than when you are seated. Many footballers have been discovered when they are playing somewhere. The scout was just walking and found them playing. Instead of sitting in the house, that oh, then they were just playing, and that man can dribble very well. They say, who is you? Who are you? And then they actually recruit them. How can somebody recruit you if you are not afraid of? Because somebody, you go to a company and say that you are looking for a job. I say, we don't have a job. We don't have a vacancy. Then you walk away. But sometimes go to that office, go to that company, ask for a job. If you know they don't have a job, say that I can volunteer. And just convince the manager. Just instead of staying at home with these skills that I have, can you just give me a chance here? I can just work for free. And when you give me a chance to work for free, be always the first one to arrive, dress very well, be the first one to arrive and the last one to leave. Be an extra miler. Market yourself. If they cannot employ you, he will surely, she'll surely recommend you somebody. I have a young man here, or I have a young lady here, working so hard. A person with the excellence. But you don't have a position to her, but I know you have a position there. Can you take her? That's being opportunity what? Conscious. That's how you get to also dominate the marketplace. The next point that will help us also to dominate the marketplace is that one day you told us about, well, I mean, entrepreneurship, but I just say that creation of wealth is a mindset. Creation of wealth is a what? A mindset. You know, sometimes you have to survive out there. You need some coins. There's another cardinal called Cardinal Machinkus said that the church cannot be run on Hail Marys alone. When you do what is necessary, the time will come for you to do what is possible. When you start doing what is possible, a time will come when you're doing what is impossible. Wealth creation is a mindset. And sometimes, what I want you to pick is this. Sometimes accept to do what is necessary for you to survive. That will lead you to what is what? Possible. And so you'll start doing what is what? Impossible. So you have to look at the opportunity around you. Again, all these points are connected. Sometimes when you watch KTN about the entrepreneurs, sometimes you watch and look around what amazing things that people are doing. I think even he was sharing us, Julius was sharing with you, sometimes you must accept to do something, even accept little money somewhere. Do what is necessary. Then you start doing what is possible. Then soon you'll be doing what is impossible. You must start somewhere. And I want to finish this section by saying, somebody said this, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be what? To be great. That's very important as you prepare to go out. And next is this. For you to dominate the marketplace, take care of your environment. For you to dominate the marketplace, you must take care of your environment. And environment here, I want to mean the people around you. The most common thing in the world is mediocre people. Or, I mean, they're not mediocre as such because they want, but mediocre mentality. Yeah? That's what I want to say, yeah? Somebody called Sidney Poitier wrote a book, The Measure of a Man. And he said that when some people, you go for a walk with somebody, something happens unconsciously. You find that one person will be controlling the pace. And the rest will adjust their pace. If you are walking with people, there's somebody who's actually controlling the what? The pace. And he's asking you, whose pace have you adjusted to? Some of us may be in an environment where you have adjusted your pace to a mediocre one because you are letting somebody with a mediocre mentality to control your what? Your pace. So you must look around you. And it's always something common. Birds of the same feather flock what? Together. But putting someone say that if you are hanging around 4 millionaires, chances are high you're going to become the 5th what? Millionaire. I check. Nowadays I'm very conscious about my environment. And I count the people that are around me, that the people, when I sit around with them, they always, the first they ask you, at the end of the year, say, at the beginning of the year, they say, what are the dreams that you are chasing? And the person will ask you that, what are you chasing right now? What are the dreams? Somebody is going to challenge you to think big, to act big, to chase something. You know, even if you go out there, you may choose to sit with those who are lamenting about lack of work, or choose to be with Julius, who is going to become richer in his company. Can you clap for Julius, please? Say that's richer in his company too. Possible. I'm telling you that when he's talking that I'm richer in my company. You know, 3 years from now, you say that company that he has registered. If I look at my son, Andiema, I'm proud of him. This person, if you stay close to him, you know that you are not in the wrong company. Mama, nakushukuru sana. Tupigie mama makofi tafadhali. I know that if I spend time with Andiema, chances are high that I'll be inspired. He's been my son, but I know something that he's also been doing. Are you aware of the two around you? What are they doing? Take care of your environment. In that environment, I want you to also choose some of your mentors or your role models and say that I want to be like so. And if you can get a chance to be close to them and ask them questions, how do you make it? You see, Madam Dr. Rin said that there are some problems that we are actually experiencing. Some people have already experienced those problems before. You know, when you're alone somewhere with people who are mediocre, they tell you that this is impossible, just give up. But you can go to somebody who's making it. I want to be close to that person because that person can show you what to do. Make that person be part of your what? Your environment. It's very important. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this, and I think Madam had said it. It is not easy to dominate the marketplace. It is hard. Accept that you're going to do it hard. That's what I want to say. It is not easy to be an excellent person. It is hard. Accept that you're going to do it what? Hard. And sometimes you're going to fail. But somebody said that success is on the side of what? Of failure. Madam even put it very well. I mean, Dr. Rin, develop the spirit of what? Of persistence. I don't want to belabor that point. Just accept that you are going to work hard. And soon, the one we'll be celebrating you. And I want to tell you this as my parting shot. I'm simply talking about that 10th year, Dama, 10 years later, you're supposed to come and meet somewhere. You don't want to meet. We can meet in Masen to come and do for them something for the chaplaincy or something. But you can choose to go and meet at Continental or some other place in Nairobi, yeah? 10 years from now, yeah? Jugus, vitu vimesemwa hapa. Hey. Iko kitu hapa, si ndio? Tupige makofi tafadhali. Iko kitu hapa. Tumeweka tick. God wants you to be successful. Have those dreams. Take care of your environment. Embrace excellence. Be opportunity conscious. It is hard. Do it hard. The marketplace belongs to the people who embrace such principles. And we want to celebrate you. We are celebrating you now, but as we said in the chapel, for those who are not there, the best is yet to do what? To come. God bless you.